All right, hello, everybody. You have joined the webinar for Transform Your Security Strategy with Microsoft Sentinel and a Modern Managed SOC, Security Operations Center. My name is Nathan Mertz. I'm a Principal Architect for Oxford Computer Group. I've been here at Oxford for about 11 years. Joining me today will be Samba from Microsoft. He's a Global Partner Technical Strategy Manager, and Josue, who's from Oxford Computer Group. He is Identity Security Specialist who is on our SOC here at Oxford Computer Group. I'm going to turn this over to Samba. He's going to do a presentation, do a few slides of a presentation, and so am I. And then we're going to pass this off to Josue, who's going to do a demo of Sentinel and the features of what we would use in a modern SOC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Good morning, everybody. Great to be here. So my name is Samba, as Nathan said. I work at Microsoft and I've been here for 6 years now. And I had a chance to really be at Microsoft at the early beginning of our security platform journey. So I'll be able to share some insights into where we're coming from, what we are doing today, and also where we are headed in terms of our security platform. Right. So before we get started, I think the cybersecurity is a concern for every organization, right? Regardless if it's healthcare, on manufacturing, on finance, on government. And so when we're having conversation with CISOs, most of them will really see ransomware as one of the bigger threats that they're facing. And unfortunately, we are already seeing a spike, an increase in terms of ransomware attacks, right? And there is also another element, which is usually called humor, even though there is nothing really funny about it, but it's more of the human-based ransomware attacks, where you can really have company-like organizations that will launch an attack. They can even have technical support and every business unit that you can think of any legit business, right? And so the cost of threats are also incredibly increasing, and organizations really feel the pressure, right? And what we are going to talk about today is really how Microsoft can help you address some of those challenges, and also how a lot of our customers are also relying on expert partners like OCG to provide the managed services based on our product. So moving on the next slide, we will really focus here on the secure operation centers, right? So these are the folks that are in charge of protecting your organization, dealing with alerts and incidents, and the tools that are used in those secure operation centers are usually the same, right? Security Information Event Manager. But the challenge that we have with the traditional approach, which is really based on sending logs, right, from different products, sending them to a central location, which is the same, creating some correlation rules, and then hoping that we crafted good enough correlation rules to be able to spot some of the cyber attacks. But now these cyber attacks are really being more and more sophisticated, and also the volume is also like raising, and this is really creating a challenge for a lot of organizations, because in the SOC they are now finding themselves not being able to deal with alerts in a timely manner, and as we will see as well, is that there is also a talent shortage in terms of cybersecurity experts that are able to handle those alerts and also protect ultimately the organization, right? So if you look at the traditional SOC based on the SIEM, so usually even before we get started, there is a huge amount of work and efforts that needs to be done to really work on the infrastructure itself, In fact, myself, before joining Microsoft, I was working for RSA Security, focusing on their SIEM product. And before we started any project, it will really take us months to be able to design the hardware that will be required to process the logs that we'll be having in our SIEM solution, right? And so usually you will hear about EPS, event per second, or log volume that will be necessary to ingest in the SIEM platform and generate the correlation rules on top of it. So these are some of the challenges that we see and that we can solve by really leveraging a modern SIEM and a modern security operations center based on not only disjointed and siloed individual solutions, right? And in fact, some organization will have 20, other will have 30 different security tools. And so they will really have to do the work in their SIEM solution to ingest the logs from this different product, which is not necessarily always cost effective. And once they have ingested either the alerts or the logs, they will also need to have the expertise in each of those individual products to be able to create a meaningful correlation rules that can really detect the cyber attacks, right? So moving on now, at Microsoft, we announced recently our unified security operation platform, which will bring the best of the SIEM platform, right? So which is a Microsoft Sentinel solution, and I have a slide to talk a little bit about it. But what we are really doing now is combining those two products into one. And so as a security analyst, you won't need to jump into multiple consoles to be able to work on your incident. And this will really give organizations a visibility across their entire organization, right? And so just to give you a few words here on our XDR platform. So again, today, if you look at the market, there are a number of vendors that also have their own. But at Microsoft, we think we have the most comprehensive one with solutions like email security with our Defender for Office, endpoint security products, or EDR, which is Defender for Endpoint, identity protection solution, and CASB, and all these. And what we are doing is really having an underlying data lake that will really correlate the alerts from each of those individual products that I mentioned earlier, from the email to the endpoint to the CASB to the identity, and also help the security teams instead of focusing on individual alerts. Now we'll just give them an incident and we'll do the correlation already for them. And so they'll really have the attack story and will be able to work on the incident more effectively. So by using this unified security operations center, we are really bringing the XDR piece and also the XDR piece, which will be Microsoft first-party solution, right? Alongside with the SIEM solution, which can ingest third-party logs and third-party alerts as well. But we're bringing those two words together to be able to prevent, detect, investigate, and also provide some response capabilities as well. As we will focus in a second into Microsoft Sentinel, we'll see that there are a number of data sources that you can use out of the box to really ingest your logs, either from competition like Palo Alto Network or CrowdStrike, or even a multi-cloud environment like Google GCP and Amazon AWS. I think something is also very important that I want to mention here is that Microsoft and the solution that we provide, they are multi-cloud and multi-operating system. And so the solution is not really only for Microsoft ecosystem, but as we will see later on, we can also really protect third-party platforms as well. Now, moving on to the next slide. The way we really think about modernizing the security operations center is really first simplification, right? We all know that complexity is an enemy of security. We need to be able to provide tools that can really give the insight very quickly, and really simplifying the individual activities and actions that the security operation teams needs to take, right? So we are really on this mission to simplify the security operation center. And to do that, we really need to break the silos and really moving from point and individual solution approach, right, to more of a platform approach. And this is something that we are providing with the Microsoft Unified Security Operations Center, right? With the security operation that will be modernized, we also need to provide more out of the box and flexibility in the product itself. So by doing that, in our SIEM platform, for example, you will have a number of out of the box correlation rules that you can enable and use them really. But the correlation rules are written in a language that we call KQL. And so you can also rely on the expertise of partners like OCG that can also craft for you a tailored correlation rules for your specific use cases. And finally, we think we need to increase the SOC efficiency by using automation and AI. And I'm sure you've probably heard the partnership that Microsoft has with OpenAI, and as a result, the platform that we announced recently that will be GA the 1st of April, which is Microsoft Copilot for Security, that will leverage generative AI capabilities to also increase the efficiency in the security operations center. So in a nutshell, it's really about providing a platform with out-of-the-box value with correlation rules and providing flexibility, and with automation and AI on top of it. So now I was talking earlier about the our Microsoft Sentinel solution, which is our cloud native SIEM, right? And this platform can really ingest logs from different infrastructure, right? It can also get the logs from the devices, from users, from applications. We can get the logs in syslog format. So this means that we can pretty much ingest anything, right? Either in syslog or Ceph format as well, or even leveraging APIs. So the first step with really this platform is to be able to ingest the logs that we need. And once we have the logs ingested, we can then generate incidents based on the correlation rules that we have created earlier that we use out of the box, right? And so this platform also has some built-in automation, and with the 300 plus third-party integration that we talked about earlier, right? So we ingest the logs. We can have some threat intelligence on top of it to really be able to kind of detect if there are any suspicious IP address, any suspicious IOCs, being as well. Usernames can be a URL, for example, a file hash, or even a behavior that we can also detect with our UABA platform. So the first step is really being able to correlate alerts into actionable incidents by leveraging the correlation rules that we have enabled. And the second step here is once we have the detection, the alert fired, then we'll move to the investigation phase when you can leverage the graph to really get the full scope of the attack, also having more investigation and enriching the incident itself with additional data, for example, the list of the senior executive in the organizations, for example. And with this platform, we can also use some and deliver some response capabilities that can be done either manually or leveraging the playbooks, which are also available out of the box in the platform. And you can also leverage the expertise of your partner to create more specific automation rules for your use cases. And lastly, this solution will also enable you to do some trend hunting. So that means that for the logs that are not necessarily generated any alerts, but the logs are there, right? So by leveraging the KQL language, you will be able to go ahead and hunt across the organization and find any malicious intruder that might be there, and leverage response capabilities to solve any technical and security challenge that you may have. So the goal was really to give you here a very high level overview of the Microsoft Sentinel platform. So again, this is a cloud native SIEM. You can really start your project in few days without really needing to have a whole hardware component, because this solution is really running on Azure. So with that, I think I'll pass the mic over to Nathan to also walk you through all the services that OCG is kind of leveraging on top of Microsoft platform.
All right, thank you, Samba. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to go over who we are, our modern SOC, how you can save time and energy and money, and then I'm going to pass it over to Josue, who's going to give us a demo. So Oxford Computer Group is an identity-driven company. We have a 20-year track record deploying identity and hybrid solutions. That's in healthcare, education, finance. We even do federal. We've deployed over 1,000 projects around the world, not only in the United States, but just pretty much everywhere where there's a need for identity and security. We work closely with Microsoft, as you can clearly see. Samba is here with us talking about Sentinel. We work with the product group for Entra ID. So there's a lot of things that, a lot of, deep connections that we have with Microsoft. We are an award-winning Microsoft partner. We are a 3-time MISA Excellence Award finalist. We are 2024 Identity Trailblazer, 8-time Partner of the Year, and 7-time finalist. Most recently in 2023 for Defense and Intelligence Partner of the Year. We're a Microsoft Solutions partner and hold advanced specializations for identity and access management and cloud security. As you can see, some of our badges and some of these badges that you will see if you've ever gotten an email from us. So what are our services? Our services are planning and assessment, deploying services, and managed services. So our planning and assessment, we can do workshops for identity and security and governance. That means we can come out, do assessment of your Active Directory. We can implement MIM, Entra ID. We do readiness assessments. We do security reviews. We come out, do conditional access reviews. So there's other different things that we can do just besides Sentinel and our identity and access management pieces. So our deployment services, we do Microsoft Entra, Microsoft Office 365, we do email migrations, SharePoint migrations, we do MIM integrations, which is identity management. We do Savient, which is another governance identity platform that Microsoft is a partner with, and we do Azure Marketplace application integration. What our SOC is a managed service. So that's what I'm going to be talking about here in a second, which is a 24/7 security operations center. We do help desk support, we do maintenance, we do third-party application management, and we do training courses also here at Oxford. Here's a slide of our current certifications. As you can see, cybersecurity architect experts, identity and access management administrator experts, solution architect experts. So we have a whole slew of different certifications that we have underneath our belt that can help with your identity and security needs. So our Oxford Computer Group SOC. So what do we hope to do? We want to transform your organization. We want to protect your organization. We want to simplify the process, and we want to accelerate time to value. So transforming, we're committed, to protect your organization and make it faster. So we want to, increase your SOC efficiency. We want to stay ahead of the threats, 24/7 dedicated threat hunters to address evolving needs. And we want to simplify operations, consolidate your security efforts with a single team. We could, if you would like to have a modern SOC, we can come in and help, provide the managed service for your SOC. Or, we could do a hybrid approach where we have some of your security operations team on your end, and then operations on our end also, that we can work together. And then we want to accelerate your time to value. We believe with Microsoft Sentinel that it provides us the ability to implement a SIEM very quickly. Also, with our experience and some of the pre-built packages that we already have for Sentinel, that we believe that we can easily come in and implement those almost day one. So our SOC is identity focused. We want to protect, detect, and investigate and respond. So we want to protect data across all users, devices, and applications in the cloud or multi-cloud. So not only Microsoft, but GPC, AWS. We want to detect the threats and minimize false positives. We believe that Microsoft, with their AI and deep analytics, that we can determine if it's a false positive or not. We want to investigate those threats that are out there. And we can do that at scale and respond also rapidly with our built-in orchestration and automation of common tasks. So our full-time team has specific tasks that they do. They triage, they hunt, they investigate. Our teams are always in collaboration with each other. We have a nearshore team that we have that are our employees that are here to help you. They can, they'll do single alert queue. So when, excuse me, sorry, if a alert comes in, they will look at that alert, do some basic, quality assessment. And then if there's something, that needs to be investigated, that'll go to another team, or they can, if they have to, they'll investigate immediately. And then, we'll hunt any major incidents or threat or use the threat intelligence to see what is actually going on in the environment. So these three teams work together to provide a modern SOC for your organization. So our time to value, some of this is from Microsoft. We believe that using Sentinel, your return of investment in 3 years is 201%. Reduction in management effort to actually get this up and running. It's a SaaS service. It has over 100 built-in connections that we can just connect to not only Microsoft, but third-party applications that have workbooks, automation, and playbooks already built in, and we can leverage those immediately. So that 67% decrease in time to deployment with a dedicated SOC team like ourselves to use that out-of-the-box functionality or custom functionality based upon your needs. So 80% reduction in investigation time because of the AI threat intelligence. False positives go down tremendously. About 79% over 3 years. Like I said before, OCG uses Microsoft Sentinel. They analyze over 65 trillion threat signals a day. Those just keep going up exponentially every single day. Microsoft using is investing in the product, is investing in security, to protect you. So always Microsoft is always there for to combat cybercrime. And we believe that using just Sentinel as a SIEM, and not multiple solutions, that you would save up to 60% just using Sentinel over multi-vendor security solutions. Not only that, but using the Defender security and different exchange protection also. Now I'm going to hand this over to Josue, who's going to do a demo of a customized process that we have created for Sentinel for our modern SOC.
So to start, we need to know some specific definitions related to Sentinel. So some of those are analytics that are basically like the threat detecting that we are going to use to detect all that threats, all that possible activities or suspicious activities that we will have in the environment, some anomalies and etc. Playbooks. So playbooks are the Microsoft's automated orchestrator response for the identity threat or the alert. So basically, you create a logic app that is gonna use to execute or trigger any type of actions inside the Azure environment, Microsoft 365 environments. Also, we are gonna have some automations. That automation basically in the context of Microsoft Sentinel, it's the feature that has the capability to streamline a report or to execute a playbook in this case. And the hunting line stream at the end is like a report or like a live stream of the data coming from the a specific topic or a specific KQL query that we are running behind the scenes in this case. So yeah, we can go back. We can go to the next slide to see the architecture of the demo that we are gonna show in some minutes. So basically, the attacker is creating a main rule behind using a PowerShell script. And basically, we have some connectors getting information from Microsoft Entra ID, from Microsoft 365, and all that information is gonna be stored in a log analytic inside the Microsoft Sentinel. And based on that, we can create some solutions to detect, to analyze, and also send some notifications to the administrators, to the users, and all the important people in the company that needs that information to resolve that issue. In this case, the SOC team is gonna detect with automations and also analyzing the data and receiving notifications. We are gonna resolve that issue. So let me change and present my screen to start showing you the demo that we have prepared for you. So to start, we have this environment, this test environment that is named Demo Sentinel. So as you can see right here, Demo Sentinel 23 is our Sentinel environment that we have the overview page in the first slide, and also we have some other modules that we can use in Sentinel. For this specific demo, we are gonna use some data connectors to get the log coming from Sentinel, for example. We are gonna use the Azure Activity Connector and also the Microsoft 365 connector. So they are both connectors we are gonna use to get the information needed and generate all the incidents that we need for this specific topic. So we need for this specific case, we need to create an analytic. What is an analytic? Is that rule that is detecting all the threats and classifying all the threats in with different names to be more specific, to be more easy to detect that specific rule. So in this case, we are gonna use the suspicious email rule that basically, if we edit that specific analytic, we can see that the logic is a KQL query that we can test in this specific page. So in the view query results, we can see that we are going to have some specific results coming related to Exchange admin. So we are receiving all that information from Office 365, from the Office 365 connector that we already show you. And also we are receiving all the information in this format that is a table. It's basically a table, and we are using a KQL query to get all this information. Also in the analytic rules, we can set what is an entity, what is the entity for this specific query. We can set IP addresses, we can set name accounts, accounts ID. So yeah, also for the query, we can set how often you need to run the query. In this case, we put 5 minutes, and the lookup data from the last 5 minutes, and it's gonna start running automatically because we are gonna use an automation. So yeah, in this case, in the incident settings, we are gonna group all the incidents in just one. For the last 5 hours, we are gonna group that information because it's more easy to see or to see relevance incidents in just one place. So in the next step, we are gonna configure an automation. What is the automation? The automation is that part when you make the relationship between the playbook or the logic app running and the analytic rules. So as you can see right here, we have the name of the automation rule is rule suspicious keyword. In this case, we are gonna choose that this automation rule is gonna be reading the analytic rule name, that is suspicious email rule, that we already choose or we already configured in the past in the analytics part. So, and all the alerts are gonna be running by the suspicious email rule, and also we can choose an action to be executed. What we can choose to run a playbook, we can choose to change the status, change the severity, assign owner, add tags, add task. So there are some of those actions that we can choose. In this case, we are gonna run a playbook because we need to automate that type of case that we are gonna receiving. So saying that, we have completely configured the automation rule. In this case, we are pointing for the demo incident email admin playbook that we want to run. So basically, this is the playbook that we was setting to run. So as you can see in the automation rule, we choose the demo incident email admin. That is this one that I have selected. So if I click edit, what we are gonna have, we have a logic app running behind the scenes, because at the end, the playbook is a logic app. So if we choose edit, we can choose a lot of type of automations that we can choose. In this case, we are triggered this specific automation by receiving an incident from Microsoft Sentinel, or we can choose by a time range. We can choose from an alert. We can receive information from the alert, and that alert is going to trigger this automation. In this case, we are going to initialize a variable because we need to build the email body that we want to send to the administrator to check that specific email rules. We can run a specific KQL queries. In this case, I choose the same KQL query that we was running in the analytics. For why? For what? We need to choose that specific query to get a specific information coming from the hunting part of directly from the logs of the Sentinel. So in this case, we are gonna choose all that alert that come from alert, suspicious, fake, malicious, phishing, spam. That's the filter that we are gonna use, and also with the parameters that could be deleted items, that could be junk email, and also deleted messages. So after that, we need to create a for each for the value that we was receiving from the run query and list results. In this place, we are gonna build the email body with the information that we already get from the query, from the KQL query that we already built. So as you can see from this KQL, we are receiving the mailbox, we are receiving the rule name that the user creates, and also the client IP, because the IP is very important to detect that type of attack. In some cases, there are some different locations, different IP coming that we need to detect to block that IP address, or to investigate how to block that specific IP addresses. Then after that, we are gonna build the send email version 2 to my specific email. Also, we can choose a group, or we can choose a specific user that needs to receive that specific email. And at the end, we are gonna update an incident with a comment. That is very important for us as a SOC team to have commented all the incidents that we already have in place. So that makes sense when you try to track all the incidents, when you try to resolve the incident, you need to see the comments and all that type of stuff. So after saying that, let's see if the last resort, I was running some PowerShell scripts. As you can see right here, I was creating some specific rules for a specific user to start trying to deploy or to trigger the automation that we built. So as you can see right here, we have some specific runs. The last run was like 10 minutes ago that I just sent one of those scripts to generate the incident. If we choose the run history, we can see what information was coming into the automation and what variable was selected, what was running. And yeah, right here we have the specific information for the body. As you can see right here, also the body was built with the specific user that I built, or that I sent the rule, the mail rule for this specific user. So as you can see in my email, I just received 1 minute before the information with the user that it was attacked or was hacked in this case. So as you can see, we have the user affected Kylian Mbappé, and also the rule name is delete all incoming emails 0516. So, and also the IP address that was sending that request. So as you can see, there is a good automation that we can build for you. Also, there is a custom, because the default one in some cases needs some specific changes, some different connections. So we could try to build a third-party app running in and building an automation for you. So yeah, this is basically the demo, how it works, what other things we touch. In this case, we also can see information in the live stream. Also, we can see the live stream information by using the hunting part right here. We can choose some queries to run, or some specific queries. In this case, let me show you. In this case, we can group all the queries that we want to build information, or to detect and analyze all the data. We can group that information. In this case, we are going to use Office 365. And also we have this suspicious rule query. If we run the query, you can see that we have 7 results in the last 120 minutes ago. Also, we can see the results and see the specific information here. What type of information? We can see the record type, we can see the operation, the user ID for that specific user that runs the script, the mailbox in this case that was affected for the rule, and the rule name, and also the IP address. That is the same information that we are receiving in the mail. And also, let me show you, in the Sentinel specific part, we can see if the comment was added to the last incident that we received. In this case, we can see that we receive, or we write the comment that we set in the automation that the user affected was Leo Messi in this case. So yeah, that's basically the demo, how it works, how big is Sentinel to build automation. Also, we can touch 365, we can touch Entra ID to get some specific actions like block the user, that reset the password if the user had some different locations, logins, and all that. So yeah, I go back to Nathan to continue with the presentation.
Hey, thank you. That looks amazing. That demo was great. Now we have a call to action here. I'm gonna share my screen. So let's get started with OCG and Microsoft security. We want to extend your SOC or start fresh with our SOC and with using Sentinel. We believe we can save money by having a trained staff ready to secure your Microsoft digital estate. We can reduce costs with day one implementation and plan. We have pre-built automation, analytics, workbooks. Not only does Microsoft, we do also, and we can implement those pretty quickly without zero downtime or production impacts on your end. We can just turn it on, see what's going on in your environment, and not turn on any of the automation or any of the playbooks to actually do any of the work that Host Away was showing us. So our staff, like I said, is, we're a trained staff. You saw all the different badges that we have and classes and training that we have taken, 24/7 support. Like I said, we have pre-built automation, analytics, workbooks, playbooks, the data sources that we easily connect to immediately, Entra ID, Defender for cloud apps, information protection, Microsoft 365 Defender, deep expertise for modern SOC optimization, what you want to achieve, which is, evolve and modernize your SOC. How do we deliver it? OCG has already architected, planned, implemented Sentinel solution components. So, automation working day one. Those pre-built automations are in Sentinel. We've used the lessons that we've learned implementing this at other client sites, and we can import those pre-built automation into your Sentinel resource, so you can take advantage of that knowledge that we have. You want to achieve, reduce costs across your SOC by modernizing processes and optimizing data sources. So assist in implementation of a comprehensive modern SOC strategy to surface most effective insights while optimizing costs. We have a managed service that is cost effective and is available 24/7. So in summary, there's challenges, security challenges that are out there, and customers like yourself need the best security solutions. So I think OCG and Sentinel working together provides that need. We have everything, as in we have a SOC, we have the training. We want to make sure that we can simplify the issues that you're having, and put those into one, then use a team that is a hybrid team or a single team to help you. So final thoughts, start using Sentinel to protect your digital assets today. OCG SOC 24/7 using Microsoft Security as the core. And if you want to implement Sentinel and you need a partner, reach out to us directly, and we can start that rapid integration and onboarding of Sentinel in your environment. Any questions? I'm gonna put questions in the chat, and we'd be more than happy for Samba, for myself and Josue to answer those questions that you have about Sentinel, about modern SOC. Just any questions would be more than happy to answer.
Nathan, I think there is a question. Somebody's asking if there are some free log sources, free ingestion in Microsoft Sentinel. I think that's a great question because, in fact, if you're using the Teams, for example, or Office 365, and if you're using some of the Microsoft security solutions, being Defender for Endpoint and others, actually the alerts coming from the Microsoft security product and the audit log for Office 365 are ingested in Sentinel at no additional cost for the first 90 days. And so what some customers are doing, even though they may have a SIEM solution on premises or elsewhere, during the transition, they can have what we call a side-by-side approach, where they can leverage Microsoft Sentinel to really ingest the logs at no additional cost from the Microsoft ecosystem, and then forward the qualified alerts to any third-party SIEM that they may have. So this can be step one. Really, as Nathan said, we can really initiate and start the project without really disrupting the production or having any incident. So by really using the side-by-side approach, we can use that. So we have a list. Again, this is the alerts coming from the Microsoft security solutions. There is the audit log. We have a full list of the free log sources that we can share with you as well.
Yes, and not only that, during those 90 days, we have a kind of a Sentinel cost analysis based upon the logs that are coming in and that ingestion, what that would cost, per day. So we do have a workbook that will provide that information during that time to see what that ongoing cost would be. Not only that, it can show you maybe that there are resources out there that you're ingesting that just isn't providing any, it's not a security threat, so you're just ingesting data for no reason, and it's just occurring costs. So there's a lot of things that we can help you with. I just want to thank you for your time, Josue, and especially yourself, Samba. We really appreciate you coming out and talking to everyone about Microsoft security products and Sentinel. Then again, also, if you have questions, please reach out. If not, I'm going to just wait here for a couple of minutes, and then we're just going to end the webinar. Thank you very much.